What if I told you that you could build a complex AI documentation generator powered by NVIDIA NIM AI workflow that automatically scale, handle failures gracefully, and maintain perfect data consistency, all without writing a single line of orchestration code? So today we are diving deep into the same with the event-driven framework Motia and how it creates perfect synergy with NVIDIA NIM's powerful language model. So NVIDIA NIM is nothing but NVIDIA's Inference microservices. Let's deep dive into how actually this Mocha workbench looks like and how you can use it. Here you can see the different event-driven architecture. So where if I click on this, you can see like this entire step, how it is written and everything, right? Let me quickly show you the demo, like how I can use any GitHub repo and create a documentation out of it. I will give this workflow one GitHub repository URL, then it will analyze, then clone and analyze. It will create the check the file structure, it will check the language, it will do the statistics and everything. Then documentation generation will happen. So there is a documentation generator is defined for that. It will generate the sections and overview, architecture, getting started, API reference, everything. Then QA review and enhancement will be done. So QA files will be developed, documentation will be developed. Similarly, we will also develop Mermaid diagrams, our entire repo. So everything is like AI generated, everything. So similarly, it will also generate the test, like generate test for like unit test, integration test, E2E, everything. And then this complete documentation shoot will added into one assets folder where you have like documentation files, then Mermaid diagrams and test suits. So let me quickly get this URL for this GitHub stars counter repo, which we recently created. I can use that to create documentation. So let me just quickly click on this and you will see our repository analysis is already started. So it will take some time. So let me just wait for it to complete and we can skip to the how documentation is created. So first I will show you like there is no assets here, right? In NVIDIA Docs Motia. It's running and it found 12 files across 4 languages. So that's what we can see here as well. See, so I will just wait for it to generate and then we can come. As you can see, it is already done. It says analysis is results emitted and stored in state. And then also this is the output. Test generation completed successfully. Mermaid diagram generation pipeline completed successfully. Similarly, QA review and documentation generator. I will quickly go to code and I will check the assets folder. So yeah, diagrams are created. So GitHub star counter, then star counter components, then data flow, everything is there. Similarly, readme is generated for the architecture diagrams. Similarly, there is docs, right? Inside docs, entire summary and what actually this repo is about, the how much code and everything. Everything it is mentioned. Similarly, documentation there for repository analysis. Then it generated test, then integration test, E2E test, everything, unit testing. Very cool, right? Let me just go deep dive into it and explain you what is going on here. Traditional applications suffer from 3 critical problems. Tight coupling. Everything depends on everything else. Poor error handling. One failure breaks the entire pipeline. And of course, scaling is like one of the biggest concern, right? Adding new features requires rewriting existing code. So Motia solves all of this through its event-driven architecture. Why this makes the project special? Because it is event-driven architecture there with Motia. Then there is AI model integration with NVIDIA and NIM. Then production-ready patterns for real-world application. Then it is scalable design because you can replace anytime, any steps which you want to add or change. Depending on your needs, you can grow easily. Let's go back to our code and see why actually Mocha is really powerful. So let's start with the fundamental concept that makes Mocha powerful, which it chooses the event-driven approach. In the traditional approach, you will see everything is like tightly coupled. So every steps needs to be dependent on each other. But this is not the case with event-driven approach. Everything is independent. Like there is different steps. Repo is requested, which we put as a repo, which was our GitHub stars counter, right? And then emission is done for the repo.analyze. So the repo.analyze event is passed, and then you will see here is subscribed here, and then it again emits docs.generated and docs.generated, which is like parallel execution, we can say. So very powerful, I can say, like different steps independently work. So why actually this is perfect? Because this is resilience, right? If one step fails, other continues. Scalability, like adding new steps without touching existing code, which is very powerful. Then each step can be tested in isolation. Another powerful thing is like you can see this workbench, right? So built-in observability and very powerful for each event. You can see entire code is type safe, and everything is like configuration as a code. This is like config, everything is like configure, very easy to use. So look at how we define our entire documentation pipeline. So when trigger analysis is done, so trigger analysis steps is done, which we just emit like report or requested, which we saw just now, and which emits, then our analyze repo subscribe to it, and then it emits and it goes to write docs, and it continues like. So this gives us visual flow understanding. The workflow is self-documenting. It shows like how easy it is to modify everything. It shows like parallel processing, like multiple steps can subscribe to the same event. Then steps can emit different events based on condition. Motia also provides state management and persistence, which is built in. So you can see here, with this, we are doing like state persistence, repository analysis, latest analysis, and you have some benefits which comes ahead, like automatic serialization, deserialization. Then you can organize namespaces, which is like persistence across restarts, easy debugging and inspection, which is really powerful. So let's dive into like why NVIDIA NIM and how it is perfect for like this kind of a project. So NVIDIA NIM like provides inference grade AI model serving that perfectly complements Motia's architecture. So here you can see we are using NVIDIA NIM, right? And it is defined here. So what is actually happening with this sync chat is like production ready error handling is there, then automatic retries, response logging, and model flexibility. So that actually is how we use different models for different tasks. Like you can do like heavy analysis, we can use different model, which is like we can use llama or something. So that is everything defined here. And similarly, if we want like efficient model but quick generation task kind of a thing, then I can just use the nim.chat prompt for the Meta Llama 3.18b instruct, which is like which can help for the quick generation task. Similarly, if you want like domain specific models, so that also you can do. So overall, I think the benefits is like it helps you optimize the cost. It also helps you performing tuning. It also helps you in scalability and using like latest models. So everything is there. One of the another thing I would like to show you, like it also uses like template driven AI prompting. As you can see here, we have defined different prompts here, and it uses these prompts in our event driven architecture to do like targeted kind of approach. It so it provides consistency, like same prompt structure across all generations. Then it also maintains updates the prompts without touching our entire code. Also it can help in version controlling. Yeah, one of the power of Motia and Motia event driven approach is like where Motia completely outshines everything is this. Here we are generating the documentation, but you will see like generating all section is doing like simultaneously. So everything is happening as like parallel documentation generation is happening here, which is very cool, and it actually saves you a lot of cost as well as time. So total time is just like 6 seconds instead of we wasting somewhere like 18 seconds. It is like 3x faster parallel execution, and then resource efficient, maximizing NVIDIA NIM throughput, than better UX because it is like faster response time for users, and definitely scalable. So you can add more section without time penalty or something. That's all we saw. Everything is very simple with Motia event driven approach, and using NVIDIA NIM for the enterprise AI grade power. So yeah, because Motia powers and provides event driven orchestration, then type safety and validation, It provides state management. You also saw like error handling and resiliency. You also saw like how it helps in the scalable architecture. And NVIDIA NIM provides on the other side is like enterprise grade AI models, high performance inference, model flexibility, reliable API and also cost effective scaling. So this is very helpful in real world production, and you can build like multiple kind of applications like this with power of both. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know your feedback, and we can circle back on that. Thank you.